This program was brought to you by Organo Gold. Organo Gold is a health and wellness company that provides healthy coffees, teas, and chocolate. All one has to do is consume the available coffee, teas, chocolate, and other products to get all the available benefits. One can also share these products with others to help them improve their health as well.
And now, Fairfax Breakfast Club with your host, Basile Lemba.
Welcome to the Fairfax Breakfast Club show. My name is Basile Lemba and I will be your host. The Fairfax Breakfast Club is a weekly program in which we bring to you valuable and workable know-how you can use to improve your networking skills and grow your business. We always start the show with a quote, and today's quote is, "Authentic brands don't emerge from marketing cubicles or advertising agencies. They emanate from everything the company does." And that is from Howard Schultz, founder of Starbucks, I should say. With us today in the studio, we have someone who specializes in branding and helping companies to do just that. His company is Branding Experiences, and his name is Mitch Dowell. Hi, Mitch.
Good to see you.
How are you?
Good.
Very good, very good. Finally made it.
Indeed, indeed.
Okay, tell us about your company, Branding Experiences.
Branding Experiences, as the name implies, we help small businesses create good branding experiences so their customers will want to do business with them. Mm-hmm. A lot of that involves the first impression. Mm-hmm. We do a lot of visual work, graphic design, logo design, web design. But we dive into some of the messaging as well and really help them bring their unique value to the surface. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is, from your viewpoint, the importance of branding?
As you mentioned at the top of the segment, branding is everything that you do, mm-hmm. and it's the reputation that your marketing generates from your target audience. Mm-hmm. So it's incredibly important to make a good first impression, especially when you can't be there to make it. Mm-hmm. For example, when we're sound asleep, our websites aren't. Mm-hmm. They're making whatever impression they're making, good or bad. Same thing with a simple business card, mm-hmm. And a company logo. Mm-hmm. So it's a combination of a lot of things. It's how you deal with your customers, mm-hmm. Face to face, mm-hmm. on the phone, mm-hmm. The receptionist that picks up the phone. Mm-hmm. It's everything that your company does, walks and talks and breathes. Even your outgoing voicemail message when you're not there. Mm-hmm. Those
are often missed.
Indeed.
I mean, I really still get some messages like, "Are you a business? Did you like?"
Right. Or they go for the default message, outgoing message, or computer-generated Siri kind of voice. Yeah. And there's a missed opportunity there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, somebody can definitely improve themselves. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this: how? You may probably know the answer to the question. How much is branding understood by small businesses?
We learned branding growing up. In high school, we branded ourselves all the time. Whether it's to get into a particular clique, or to date a certain person, or to get some kind of classroom advantage with a teacher. We've been branding for decades. Mm-hmm. It just involves money now. Our livelihood is at stake. No pressure. But a lot of the metaphors that I use with clients go back decades to when we were growing up. We've grown up in the culture and society of marketing and advertising here in America. Mm-hmm. We can't escape it. Mm-hmm. Whether it's commercial jingles that we see on TV as children between the cartoons. Mm-hmm. We've been bombarded by branding our entire lives. Mm-hmm. So intuitively, we're very knowledgeable mm-hmm. about branding. So as a small business owner, I try to bring that out. I try to bring that back to the surface and not make it seem like rocket science, because it really isn't. It's very psychological. Mm-hmm. But I remind people and use everyday metaphors to help explain the importance of branding their small businesses the right way.
Okay. So now, can you give us what are for you the most successful branding that you know that you can give us an example of?
Well, there's a lot of brands that are very popular right now in the real consumer world. Apple is a very good example.
With the Apple on the computer.
Sure.
That was
Sure.
simple but so powerful.
Yeah, and if you think about what that brand represents, ease of use, simplicity, all of their print ads and their website pages are very easy to visually digest. It's all related. It's all tied together. Their interfaces on the phones. Everything's touch screen now. It's very easy to learn, easy to digest, compared to perhaps some of the technologies we had in the 90s, the Microsofts of the world, the other alternatives. But good branding conveys that. It conveys values. It conveys what a brand stands for and what they want to get across to their audience and how they want to be perceived by their audience. So Apple's just one example. We could a few other household names. McDonald's, for example,
They did a good job.
They did a good job, and it's interesting. Over the past decade, they're kind of turning a corner and trying to be a little bit more health conscious. They've got the McCafe now. It's not just about run-of-the-mill coffee anymore. You've got your Starbucks variety of drinks now. Even the interior of a lot of McDonald's are upgraded now. You've got CNN on the wall now.
Oh.
You've got more artsy kind of decor. And it's all creating an experience for the consumers. They have free Wi-Fi now.
Yes, absolutely.
So people come and stay a while now. Very different from the McDonald's of the 80s.
The 80s was come in and get out, come in and get out.
Right.
I remember, not to cut you, but I remember when I lived in Paris for quite a while, and there was a train station with a tremendous amount of traffic coming through that stand. And there was a McDonald's, that's small. I guess that's because it's a built city. It's not like if you're going to come and bring whatever, you get whatever you got.
Right.
So they have this little location. But I always remember what they did is that they put mirror against the wall. And the little ledge of a table going around the whole place in the main. So the situation was when you serve your meal, you go and sit against that ledge thing, and you're looking at yourself eating that thing. But I would always suspect that it was intentional. It was done because you couldn't handle it. The place was small. That's the way to get you out of there. I bet that it was.
And sometimes they do that with music. To get liveliness about it. They'll play up-tempo music. Or if they want you to relax in the environment, they'll have this smooth jazz playing in the background, what have you. So you can appeal to a lot of different human senses through marketing and through some of the little things in an environment that can really set the tone for the brand, the brand experience. Yeah.
I mean, the more I think about branding, the more I get to get how powerful it is. It's almost, in a certain way, scary.
It's very psychological. It's very emotional. It can be very subliminal. Emotion is a very good topic when it comes to branding because one of the things that I ask my clients is what kind of pain is your audience experiencing, and how do you want them to recover from that by using your products and services, and what kind of emotions do you want to convey to them through your marketing and branding? Take a logo design, for example. There are a lot of elements to logos that can subliminally make a connection. The size, the shape. Rounded logos tend to be more softer than square-shaped logos. You have earth-friendly companies with logos that are green or orange. They convey certain emotions. A lot of financial services, debt recovery, and anti-fraud uses a lot of red and black. as they say in the financial world, you're either in the red or in the black. So
Pick one.
right. But so you see a lot of red and black in financial services. For brands that want to convey trust, there's a lot of orange and blue that's being used. You see a lot of that in the financial world, especially post-recession. And then blue is a color that's used a lot for optimism, and Facebook is a good example. And so there's a lot at play visually and emotionally and subliminally, and you're not even realizing that it's happening. But those are the conversations I like to have with clients, because they sometimes don't realize how they can use that to their advantage, even as a small business, in their own visual branding. And it's an enjoyable process, and it makes for lively conversations throughout the project.
Well, talk to us about one of your examples of one of your products, some of that you help in branding. Like, walk us through the process that you operate on.
Well, the first thing that I do with a new client or a prospect is to get to know their company and what their company stands for and what their values are, and what sets them apart from their competitors. You'd be surprised at how many small business owners don't have that answer. They haven't brought that to the surface yet. They want to be toe-to-toe with their competitors, or they're just looking to pay the mortgage or whatever.
Pay the electricity bill.
Right. But that's not enough to be sustainable as a business. You've got to be different. You've got to be, you've got to have your Apple factor or your McDonald's factor. So I try to bring that to the surface in the conversation, so I can understand moving forward, how to approach their branding or rebranding. And there's a dramatic before and after that takes place before branding and the launch that's exciting to see from looking at a client, because they can come to you at the top of the project with a lot of frustrations. Maybe they're down on themselves as far as like a business self-esteem goes. And then on launch day, there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of enthusiasm. There's a different energy in them. They can't wait to get it out the door. And that's a really enjoyable thing to see in a business owner or anybody. So being in the line of work where I can have that dramatic before and after is a really neat thing. And when a company looks good, they tend to feel good. When they feel good, they tend to perform better and have more confidence, and that overflows into the audience, into the target market. I've worked in some companies over the years who didn't take branding very seriously, or their marketing, visual marketing very seriously, and you could tell in the hallways and internally, there just wasn't a lot of pride with that outside look and exterior. Branding is both internal and external. It's not just what you put out there in the world, but your employees have to sing the same tune as well. And yeah, I mean, even we mentioned the whole voicemail thing. There's a missed opportunity there.
Yeah, it's dramatic. It can destroy your image totally and completely. Totally and completely. I mean, some of the phone calls I get, sometimes you get a kid talking. Mommy is not here or whatever.
Right.
That's like
and there are voiceover companies that are incredibly cost efficient these days, cost effective these days.
I think it's an awareness of neglect or whatever you want to call it. But I mean, if you are in business and then you give that phone number to people,
right?
If you can think logically, then you may want to pay attention to what the message.
And even the email portion of it, an email signature, there's an opportunity there as well.
Definitely.
Not to be long-winded and market a novel here and in every email, but very simple.
I mean, if you want to name phone number, website, and what have you, because sometimes some people want to catch you, want to find where you are, or they're trying to find you. If that information is there, they put it whatever they can find you. It's a majorly missed opportunity, because sometimes I try to get back to people or call them and I'm somewhere, so I go there and hope.
Right.
I'm sitting there, hope that they had their information in the email. More often than not, it's not there.
Right. Missed opportunity.
Definitely.
And if it involves a sale in your potential client, you move on to a competitor or what have you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now tell us, Mitch, how did you get into branding yourself?
That's an interesting story. I actually had a previous career. Right after high school, I went into the recording industry as a musician.
Okay.
And for 8 years, I got a chance to travel a lot and play in front of a lot of people. And when I decided to throw in the towel after 8 years and join the rat race, the real world,
real world, you got a real job.
The only real business skills that I really had evolved around marketing and PR.
Okay.
And a lot of people in the recording industry are sharp at that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It kind of goes with the territory, regardless of what your title is. So in the late 90s. When I jumped into the rat race, into marketing jobs, it was prime. It was a perfect time to start a new marketing career because in the late '90s, the whole .com and internet thing was bubbling up,
Gotcha.
And it was a fun time to do marketing, and there were jobs everywhere. It was it was a great economy, and so I got into the high-tech startup sector and was there for 12 years. Had a lot of great projects come across my desk, and I just honed my chops from a design perspective and branding perspective. And part of my personal and business philosophy and design skills, they all just kind of came together, and over the years just formed a core philosophy that became a business. Yeah.
And what would you consider your biggest challenge?
As a business owner, I would say my biggest challenge would be around time management. It's hard at the end of the day to leave the office. You can turn off the light and leave the office, but it's hard to check out mentally.
Mentally, yeah, I understand.
Because as a business owner, you
eat 24 hours.
You're always on. You're always on.
Yeah, that's right.
And especially if you're a young business owner, young in the history of the company, there's so much that you want to accomplish, and you've got perhaps a limited budget, but the world is waiting for you, and you just don't want to turn off. So we live in a society now where we're checking emails in bed at night, 10:30 at night, and you're taking the iPad to the kitchen or to wherever else. Part of it's a sign of the times, but I would say the biggest challenge is more of a time management perspective, not time management on my core business responsibilities, but balancing that.
Balance. Yeah, I guess that's the word. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and they're kicking around the word integration now. There's no more work-life balance. It's work-life integration. It's pick your play on words. But yeah, definitely that as a big challenge for a small business owner. I would imagine a lot of small business owners know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm sure they can relate.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. And what would be consider your biggest success?
My biggest success would be my clients themselves and the relationships that I've formed. I'm very grateful to have an awesome roster of clients who we've gone to battle, so to speak, at the project level, on the same army, not on
the same side.
Yeah, on the same side. But I mean, we've really we've gone the extra mile for a lot of our clients, and they've really appreciated and respected our work that we've done for them, and they've rewarded us with great testimonials and online reviews, and we've done some fun, lighthearted promotional campaigns to market branding experiences, and we got some of our clients involved in it. And everybody's been open-minded and has had a sense of humor. And there's, I don't know if I'd call it a family, but there's definitely a tribal vibe going on there that I think is beyond revenue targets and market share and all that stuff. The client relationships are the biggest success by far.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good, very good. And you came to our breakfast event. Why don't you talk to us about the breakfast event?
It was kind of interesting. The first time I went to the breakfast event, I got there late. And I walked into the venue, and when you walk into the venue, there's double doors that you have to walk through. And before I got to the doors, I heard a lot of loud voices and, commotion going on. And I thought I heard like a cowbell being rung or something.
Don't be so loud.
Okay. I was like, I didn't know if I was at a livestock auction or what. But I got there late, and I entered into what was the speed networking portion of it, and everybody. I mean, there was a smile on everyone's face. It was definitely a business environment, lots of search and ties, but everybody was just very relaxed and just having a great time. And of course, I went to a couple of other breakfasts on time, and got the full experience. Okay. A lot of great guest speakers, a lot of knowledge being passed back and forth, and of course the speed networking element of it. It's great. It's a great environment. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
Thank you. And you came also to the last expo. You attended the last expo as well. How do you like the expo?
We've been doing a lot of business expos over the past year and a half, all throughout the Mid-Atlantic area. We've done Philly, we've done Baltimore, we've gone down to Richmond, Alexandria. Just to meet and greet and get our message out. And the Ultimate Expo, I mean, how can you turn down an expo that's called the Ultimate Expo? I mean, right. The name sells itself. I'm a marketing guy. I got suckered into the name, but it lived up to its name. I mean, it was a great central location, right in Fairfax, absolutely. And. A very good mix of businesses in a variety of different business sectors, and there wasn't a bad booth space in the house. I mean, it was a perfect setup. You had Rick Walker from the NFL as a big name draw, and we had great. It was constant foot traffic. It was we had great quality conversations. I mean, it was a no-brainer to book the next one. Yeah, I mean,
we haven't had good news because, as I mentioned in the previous show, now we have a big Fortune 500 company joining in.
Microsoft, right?
Microsoft, Kaiser Permanente, Comcast, Cox Communication, American Express.
Right.
Which is, as I was saying, is good because they need one another. And you'd be amazed, Microsoft created a post within their organization for those people to go into the community and connect with businesses. They even they're creating some product now, specializing. I had a very interesting conversation. Microsoft has this question apparently trying to solve is that, how is that we have the technology today, but people are working longer hours?
Yeah.
So apparently what they had, one of the things they came up with, they say, you have your computer, you have your information over here, and then you got to go to the cell phone, and you got to go to your iPad, so you're constantly changing, whereas what they're trying to design, or they have designed, you change something over here, he changed all the others equipment. So now it's like you put an appointment over here, it goes into the other. You don't have to go and input it over there and input it over there, or even worse, double book yourself because it was here but was not there.
Right. And that doesn't play well into the small business owner that has trouble tuning out after business hours. That actually adds to that challenge.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, we're doing our work and we're doing our, we're doing life over multiple devices, and it just makes sense to be able to pick up where you left off.
Exactly.
And whether it's a business, environment you're in, or even at home. Everything is in the cloud now. Everything is wired, and you're right. We're not working less hours. We're working more.
More hours. I mean,
that's not an issue of technology. That's a human issue. That's what can I say? I'm a victim of it too.
So now we have all those, and then we have the mid-tier. We have government agencies also coming, and it is great. We're very excited about that because now this is intelligence exchange and what have you. It makes for the world has gone technologically, gone up, but just like Bill Gates said, the most dominating companies in the future will be the one with high tech and high personal touch.
Right.
So even though the technology is going up, we found, and then we do understand there is need of people to come together. That's what we put on those events. And even if sometimes people may have the tendency to be sitting behind the screen because that seems to be the way to go, when they come to those events, they just like them.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that there's, whether it's social media or internet this, internet that, we can do so much from our, we can do so much business without even leaving our office chair. But we're doing it all behind screen names and avatars. And, nothing replaces old school face-to-face, shake hands and say hello kind of networking. That's never going to be replaced because it involves body language. It involves gestures and facial expressions, humor. There's that human factor that you just can't get sitting behind a computer screen.
Absolutely.
People in sales and business development careers know that. Their careers are based around that. But for small business owners who maybe don't come from that place, you can't do everything behind a computer screen. You got to get out and meet your audience and have those conversations. Go to the breakfast clubs and fine-tune your networking skills and whatnot. That's you can't take the human out of marketing.
Well, we are human beings, so I guess that answers that. We're not machines, so let's not knock off his side. Put us in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you very much for coming to our show. Well, I'm glad we was able to finally do this.
Yeah, indeed. Good to see you again.
And the table run, I'll let you know the schedule on that. And for our audience over here on Cox Communication, Tuesday at 9 p.m., Wednesday right after midnight, and also on Saturday at 2 o'clock. And just so you have the information, yes, we host a monthly breakfast event. Mitch mentioned that. You can see our website there, which is blnbc.com. We also mentioned the expo. The expo is, you can find the data on that at ultbizexpo.com. And next one will be on November 14, right here in Fairfax at the Stacy Sherwood Community Center. We'll have about 100 exhibitors there, respecting 300 to 400 business people. So join us at both of those events, and I think that will be a great opportunity for you to promote and grow your business. Thank you very much for tuning in. See you next time. Have a very productive day. Bye-bye.
This program was brought to you by Organo Gold. Organo Gold is a health and wellness company that provides healthy coffees, teas, and chocolate. All one has to do is consume the available coffee, teas, chocolate, and other products to get all the available benefits. One can also share these products with others to help them improve their health as well.